here's the way I put it. They don't want to destroy the dollar. They don't have to. They actually kind of want the dollar around to do their dirty work. What they really want to do is free ride on the dollar.
So if that happens, right, so let's talk about those implications and bring up the BRICS here. And I think Bloomberg had a good article opinion piece here. They did a good job summarizing that there. The BRICS grouping has long been distinguished by consistent failure to live up to potential. The internal contradictions are crippling. Divergent interests between members make it difficult to develop any shared policies. Brazil, Russia, South Africa, commodity exporters, India and China are importers. Brazil, India and South Africa, democracies. Russia and China only pretend to be an Indian China, as everyone knows, don't exactly see eye to eye on anything. So I would say, yeah, pretty decent summary of the BRICS. Now we know 5 new nations have just been added. My question is, do you think they'll finally be taken seriously? Is there weight to the BRICS?
There's a lot of weight to the BRICS. And by the way, as far as that Bloomberg article is concerned, the facts that the reporter was reciting were correct, but they're also irrelevant. And here's why.
Yeah.
The BRICS is not a political union. It is an economic union with a focus on trade and currency. Yeah, China and India, they fought in the Himalayas. Saudi Arabia and Iran are both members. They've had their differences, et cetera. So to say there are all these political differences among the members, and it's not a perfect, marriage or whatever. Yeah, but that's not the point. The point is they're working on a currency union and a free trade area, and you can have that. India and China can fight over the Himalayas all they want, but if they reduce tariffs and have a common currency, that's a big deal. And as far as they've been talking about this a long time, they haven't made much progress. That's not true. They've made a lot of progress. They have the new development bank, which is basically a clone of the World Bank. They have the Contingent Reserve Arrangement, which is basically a clone of the IMF. They spent a lot of the last 10 years duplicating the Bretton Woods institutions under their own control and for their own purposes. So they've sort of cloned Bretton Woods in a way they control. They're building their own communications networks. And here's the big thing that, they had the August Leaders Summit where, Prime Minister Modi and President Xi Jinping and Cyril Ramaphosa and the other leaders were there. Putin had to come in by video because there's a warrant out for his arrest from the International Criminal Court. But I was one of the ones writing and talking about how it would be highly significant in terms of advancing the currency. The new BRICS currency is what we're talking about. Gold linked, by the way. Then it sort of came and went, and people said, "Hey, Jim, nothing happened. Like, you were talking about this, and what was the big deal?" Well, there was a very big deal, which was adding the new members, because there's no point. What's the benefit of a bilateral trading currency if it's India and China, and they agree on it's easy to invent a currency. Just pick a name and print some, and there you go. So, but if India and China had a common currency, and India shipped goods to China and got paid in that currency, what can India do with the currency? All you can do is buy stuff from China. You might need some stuff from China, but you want to go shopping everywhere else in the world. Same thing with Russia and India. But so how do you make a currency union work? Well, the answer is you expand the membership so that when you receive the currency for your exports, you can spend it somewhere else. That's what the euro is. And the euro has 16 members. 19 members today. So the key to a successful currency union, you don't need a common fiscal policy. I mean, does anyone think Germany and Greece have the same fiscal policies?
Well, I feel like that. To that point, that's the pushback that I always get is, well, you're never going to get these countries to agree. But don't you think that their greater cause is that unification of we're going to beat the US dollar, we're going to take down the US dollar?
Well, yes and no. Let me explain what I mean by that. Again, when you say unification, do Greece and Germany have much in common? Not really. I mean, food's better in Greece and the climate's better. You don't need a genuine political union, but you do need agreement on exactly what you mentioned, Danielle, which is we're going to have a common currency. We'll all be able to trade it among ourselves. The key is expanding the membership so that the currency is worth something because you can spend it in more than one place.
Gotcha.
Now, once you get that far and you agree on a central bank, and I said they already set up the National Development Bank in Shanghai, so they've got a bank kind of waiting to go.
Yeah.
And then, but they don't. Here's the way I put it. They don't want to destroy the dollar. They don't have to. They actually kind of want the dollar around to do their dirty work. What they really want to do is free ride on the dollar. So let me be clear about what I mean. So a unit of BRICS currency, called one brick. I don't know what they're going to call it, but let's call it a brick. One brick will equal a weight of gold, not a dollar amount. They're not using dollars. It'll be a weight of gold, an ounce, a kilo, I don't know, but it doesn't matter. It's just math, a weight of gold. Now, the weight of gold will have a dollar value based on the dollar gold market, because as you know, the gold market is overwhelmingly dollar based. But which means that through a transitive law, A equals B equals C, so A equals C, the BRICS will have a dollar value, but it won't be linked to the dollar. It'll be linked to gold, and then the gold will have a dollar value, and you'll be able to, again, come up with a dollar value for a brick through a transitive law. But meanwhile, the dollar is the one that's got to go out there and hold up its end in the gold market. And so if you're the BRICS and you define your currency by weight of gold, what do you want to happen to the dollar price of gold? You want it to go up because then your currency goes up.
Makes sense.
Right. So in other words, the dollar's got to do the dirty work in the gold market, and the BRICS can just free ride.